Behold the yo-yo. You and I, our human experience is not all that dissimilar from this little toy. You see, the design of the yo-yo is quite simple. The human being has designed it to snugly fit inside of the hand. Connected to a string, the yo-yo gets dropped. Hey! That was 2 in a row. And then it returns to its maker. But alas, what should happen if I release the yo-yo and then cut the cord? The yo-yo is going to drop, descend slower until it finally hits the ground. I'm doing this in slow motion. And then what does the yo-yo do? Maybe with a little bit of inertia, it walks the dog until it finally runs out of gas, falls over, and it just lays there. Worthless. That is the human experience. That is the explanation for what is going on in our world today. You and I were designed by a maker, God. We are his image bearer. We were designed with a purpose to glorify him. But what happened? Along came a little old something called sin. Snip, and we became detached from our maker. And if you and I do not understand that is what is going on in culture, why people are behaving so poorly, we're going to get a little bit frustrated. Elma Fudd. Let me share with you now, very excited about this. We have a brand new TV series called Untethered, trying to explain why the millennial generation thinks so poorly, believes that up is down and left is Massachusetts. Well, Massachusetts actually is left, but the point is, everything is not what it's supposed to be because they are completely untethered from their maker. If we want to reach this generation, then we need to figure out biblically why their thinking is so unbiblical.
We have to go back really to the beginning, when the fall took place and what happened to our mind, what happened to our way of thinking when the fall occurred. And this is called the noetic effect of sin, the way sin affects our reasoning.
When they sinned, Adam and Eve in the garden, their sin nature has been passed down to every generation. And it has come down to this generation, and the result is first and foremost a mind that is broken. It's in darkness. It cannot know God. It cannot know the truth. The truth seems to be foolishness to the unconverted and to the unregenerate mind. We might as well be describing a sunset to a blind person because they just can't see it.
Adam sinned. Eve sinned. They ate from the fruit of the tree. They rebelled against God, and that unleashes consequences on the way we think. We no longer are those who are set apart for God. We are those who are, unfortunately, set apart for sin. All we can think about is sin. In fact, later on in the text of Scripture, in Genesis 6 and then again in Genesis 8 and 9, it says that the thoughts of the heart were always on wicked continually. That's the way we think. We have been corrupted by that. We might be smart people, we might be brilliant people, but all of that brilliance goes in one direction.
All of our brains are broken because of the fall, but it sure doesn't help when you have a culture indoctrinating our children with lousy thinking.
All of this kind of attitude started developing 25 years ago with the self-esteem psychology that, the most important person in the world is you, and you got to come to grips with that. You got to know you are the most important person in the world. Even if you lose, you get a trophy, you get an award, you're just as good as anybody else. If you want to be president of the United States, you can be president. You can be anything you want to be. That is a lie. The first lie is that you can be anything you want to be. The second lie is that you matter more than anybody else. And eventually the toll on this has been massive because now you not only can see yourself as the most important person, but you actually can become the purveyor of your own truth. You can believe anything you want to believe. This tampers with reality at a spiritual level. This is spiritual suicide. Tampering with reality in an intellectual level is intellectual suicide. Tampering with it on a physical level is social suicide. But tampering with absolute truth on a spiritual level, that's spiritual suicide. That has eternal implications.
Come on, Yo-Yo. It's better connected to the string. Come on, jump up it, get up here. When you and I fail to remember biblical history, that is how you and I are going to treat the pagans. Come on, live this way. Maybe we'll decide we need some social engineering. Maybe we'll get involved in politics because that'll make the yo-yo get connected to the string. It never will. When you and I fail to remember why the world is the way that it is, we're going to get frustrated, and we are going to be continually, futilely trying to fix the wrong problem.